Hey cats, Eliza, Mazu Kakai. How you cats doing? Kinda just getting some things kind of figured out here. Trying out this the sound you're hearing. I'm playing through an SSL plugin. So just kind of trying it out. So it's high mid. Let me get a little more bump. We have a faster release on the compression side of things. There's a good amount of low end in there. So I like to bump the low mids up a bit just to kind of get in a little more of the attack. So let's see. Sounds nice. So I'll probably keep messing with that throughout today's session. And yeah, this is a crazy bass, right? Diablo, how you doing? And what is the highest fret that I really use? Yeah, I play all the way up to the 24th fret. This is 24 frets, you know. I'll definitely go up there. Plenty of times, you know. So if I'm, playing chords or soloing or whatever, let's see. So if I'm going into that kind of lead kind of sound, then I'll do that, you know? That's the thing. I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. So if I'm going to play on a bass that has 24 frets, I want to be able to have access to the full 24, right? So obviously on this bass, I have access to it. On the other basses you can see behind me, you can get right up there as well, no problem. But there are some basses that I've played where they have 24 frets and then the body kind of stops, or like around here or something, and then it's like you can't play up there. It forces you to do some thumb position. No, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to do that at all. If you're gonna make a bass and have all those frets, I want to have access to all the frets, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna feel pretty cheated to not have access to it, right? Especially if you're, you know, I've seen some high-end basses which are where that's been the case, you know. So yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah, Diablo. Yeah, it sounds really great up there. And that's the thing. If it's gonna be up here, you know. Got to sing, right? That's the thing, and that also depends on, you know, how you have your setup on your instrument, so that the instrument can sing when playing in the higher register as well. So that's a big deal too. So yeah. Mazuka Kai is saying, I saw a short where Victor Wooten was showing he had bought Stanley Clark's School Days Alembic bass. Yeah, I did see that. I saw the whole video. I think it was Reverb that did the video where he kind of goes through his gear. But I did know that. I've known that for quite a long time, that Victor has owned Stanley's School Days bass, or that bass that he used in the kind of early to mid 70s period. Very iconic instruments, and it was cool when Victor was playing it. I mean, that's the sound right there, you know? It really is. So it's really cool that bass is still around, and that it's in good hands as well. Victor is holding on to it. And also, I mean, Stanley has so many alembics as well. I've been to Stanley's house a few times, and he's, in his music room, he's just got a big wall of alembic basses, which is awesome. It's like the holy grail. So if you're just joining on, welcome. Started a little late today. I was just trying to get some things working here. One of my plugins, so what I've been doing lately, at least for the past week or so, the way that you're hearing the sound, you're hearing it direct from my bass, but I'm processing it through I've been processing it through Logic, using some plugins, and one of my plugins kept crashing, so I gotta figure out what's going on there. So I'm trying a different plugin. I'm using the SSL plugin right now. It's a SSL 4KG, and it's just a preset that just says bass guitar that I'm just trying out. Usually I start with a preset, you know, to see what, you know, kind of settings, and then I'll kind of take it from there, because usually some of the presets can be pretty decent, but sometimes I use it as like a starting place, but it's pretty cool. I definitely like the way it sounds, very even, but you know, if I roll off that's the high mids, definitely darkens up the sound. I can add, let's see, I can add more of the low mids. That's the low end. Oh wow. Whatever that button does, just add it. It's like a low mid frequencies. It's a adding 3 decibels, I think. So it's like a boost, which I don't think I really need to use that. Yeah. So I'll just keep messing around. It's fun, you know. Diablo is saying, I play a 7-string guitar. I don't play bass, but I love the way it can change a song with just the technique and sound so nice. Just in love with music, and I do want to get a bass soon. Is a 6 good? Yeah, I mean, why not, right? And I love the sound of a 7-string guitar, you know. Whether it's obviously in a more heavier setting, but also there's a few jazz guitar players who play 7-string as well, especially when they play like nice chord voicings and doing chord melody with walking bass. It sounds incredible. I absolutely love it because you can get a really nice full sound with that low B string, or however you tune a 7-string guitar. I know Lenny Bro, he played a 7-string guitar towards the in his last years, but he had a higher string, so it would have been a high A. So he did it that way, which was really cool. So he could really get those higher notes, those chord melodies up in there. So it's all good, you know. But yeah, totally, Diablo, you should totally get into a 6-string bass. You know, why not? I encourage anyone to get into a 6-string bass. You don't have to, especially if you are playing a 4-string bass and you want to go straight to a 6-string, yeah, why not? You absolutely can do that. You don't need to kind of step your way up, you know, go 4, 5, 6, you know, like go ahead. It's totally fine. It's just a tool. And if you're a guitar player who wants to take up bass, yeah, why not? It really is your choice. And just know that at the end of the day, whether you play a 4-string or a 6-string, it requires practice. It requires you getting familiar with the muscle memory and all that. That's how it is. So yeah, get a 6. Do it. Hey, thank you, Mazuka Kai. Thanks for jumping on for a little bit. Have fun at your gig. You know, you've ordered a wheel for your noise bass. Oh, right, that's right. You're making that crazy noise bass. That's right. Hopefully soon you can sit. Please, I would absolutely love to see that. This crazy bass you're making. So take care. Have a fun gig, Mazuka Kai. do I think of Les Claypool? Oh, he's wonderful. He really is. He's one of the greats. I love, even though I haven't listened to a whole lot of Primus, but I can acknowledge how incredible and influential he has been to so many musicians. And I've met him at least once, and he just is just such a wonderful person, you know? Definitely very quirky, of course, but like just really cool, you know? Look, I understand that there's that whole thing of, you know, never meet your heroes, which, sure, it can be hit and miss. It really can with anyone. I've had my fair share of meeting my heroes and it not be a great experience, and then I've met my heroes and it has been like, oh my god, this is so great, you know? So, but Les, absolutely incredible, and he plays some awesome stuff, like absolutely insane things, and he does all that and will sing at the same time, which is just, it's just amazing. It's wild. So, and that's a clear example of, and I've talked about this many times, of, you know, when there is something, when you have a sound in your head, you'll figure out how to get that sound onto your instrument, on using your tools, and figuring out the technique in order to do that. And Les is just another example of that. It's no different than someone like Michael Mannering or Victor Wooten or Jarko, anyone, or even you, for anyone here. Ryan Martini, another cat as well. It's just, you know, you're just trying to play the music that's in your head, and he's an example of that. So yeah, love Les Claypool. So again, I want to welcome you all to the live stream. If you've got any questions, any nerdy bass questions, anything at all, and it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're just wanting to know anything, you know, just pop it down in the chat below. Anything to do with gear, anything to do with techniques, concepts, anything, playing gigs, recording, whatever. Just pop it down in the chat. You know, this is a place where we can really connect as bass players, musicians, and really appreciate and show our love for, you know, these incredible instruments, including the upright bass as well. I mean, because that's a bass instrument. If you play that, you're a bassist as well. Bonnie Boziah. I think, did I say it correctly? Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, it really is. And I appreciate you saying that, Diablo. I definitely, you know, for me, it can be a happy place when I'm playing my instrument, because yeah, you know, it's a personal connection. You know, expressing through art, and it's just another kind of language that you get to speak, and especially when being able to play from nothing. That's how it is for me. So with any of my instruments here, or whenever I pick up a bass, there's definitely a connection, right? And being able to create music, create melodies, and create rhythm and grooves, right? I'm also just kind of getting warmed up properly too, and letting the caffeine kick in. So that's another thing. Which is fully gone cold now, but you know, it's all good. I don't mind that. Trying to kind of go in and out, you know. Diablo was saying, recently I've been thinking about how composers can make all these instruments in their heads with all the little details. Now learning music to be able to write something so complex seems hard. It feels overwhelming, right? It really does. Sometimes you got to go off of a simple idea. So I'll give you an example. So if we look at the late great Anthony Jackson, who was one of the greatest ever bassists, and essentially, you know, he was the granddaddy of the 6-string electric bass. You know, this whole concept right here of how this instrument is, the 6-string bass, that was all him. That was his idea, you know. So essentially in the early 70s, you know, he was playing a 4-string Fender bass, right, which was the most common instrument to play, and playing along with records, especially he was playing along to Jimmy Smith records. Jimmy Smith was one of the legendary organ players, and Jimmy Smith had a trio, and there was no bass player in this trio because the organ player could play left-hand bass, and the lowest note that an organ bass the left hand could go down to was a low C, right? So the C like on a low B string, right? And so when Anthony would be playing along to these records and these recordings, he's like playing, and he's like, wow, the bass sound, the organ is going lower than the bass guitar. Like, what's with that? Why can't the bass go any lower? And then also at the same time, why can't the bass go any higher? He felt that it was very limited in terms of its range. It only covered like just a small portion of the bass register, right? And you got to remember, in the 70s, this was also a huge time of where the bass guitar, in terms of its playing, was really, it was really going into this innovation kind of territory. You started to have more bass virtuosos, people who are using the instrument in different ways. People like Stanley Clarke, Larry Graham, Alphonso Johnson, Anthony, obviously, being one, and then, getting into Jaco as well. Obviously, there's a few more other cats like that. Monk Montgomery would be one of the first cats to really do that. But, it was limited in terms of what it was doing, what it could do. So Anthony's idea was like, well, what if you had an instrument that could go lower and higher? And it was actually the same amount of strings as a guitar, but it would be tuned all in fourths. And so, hence that whole idea in his head began. It took a while for him to convince luthiers to build him this instrument that just seemed absolutely preposterous. No, that's not gonna work. No, the strings are gonna be too heavy, or the whole thing is just going to collapse on itself. Well, look at us now, right? 6 strings, and there's more as well on for certain other instruments. People are playing 7-string basses. They're playing even more, right? So what turned into from a simple idea of like, hey, I want more strings on my bass, and now it's enabled people, including Anthony himself, to play the music. So it's essentially an adaptation to the tool that's already there in order to inspire something else. So that's the kind of concept, looking at that, of how composers, they might have these instruments that they've brought to fruition that are very unique, and then figure out, okay, how do I get music out of this? When there's a will, there's a way. It's as simple as that, Cursed wordsman. Or is it cursed swordsman? That's what is it. I always thought it was cursed wordsman. Cursed swordsman. Man, I've been saying it. Nice to see you. Yay, bass. Sophia is asking, can I request a song? Well, it depends what song it is. If it's like a Dua Lipa song or something, then it's not gonna happen. If it's a Rammstein tune, it's not gonna happen either. Amy B. Berry is saying 6-7. That's right, because this is live stream number 6-7 for the longest time, and I still don't understand really what that means. But from what I figured out, I had to Google it after a while, because I was like, what is this? It's just something very silly, it means nothing. It's just what the kids are doing. So good, I'm glad it makes them happy and that they got something fun, and at least it doesn't have any. At first I thought, of course, it's going to have some sort of terrible innuendo to it, right? But apparently it doesn't. As far as I can, from what I've been able to kind of figure out. So that's good. Do I know any Mr. Bungle? I do not. And if I try to play any Mr. Bungle, I'd get myself in a bungle. basketball. See, I really don't know. 6'7", maybe six. Yeah, I see it. I don't know. I don't know. One of my this was another one too. Maybe is this another one that the kids are saying these days? So I have a student, and whenever he's playing something, and then if he plays a wrong note or something, or messes up, which is totally fine, it's part of the learning process. Be like, I'm trolling. Oh, I'm trolling. Like, what? I'm like, what? Is that another one? Like, I'm at that point in my life where I'm just like, what? What are these kids saying? It's like when you get to that moment, you're like, oh wow, I'm that person now. I am that person. 6'7", oh, I'm trolling. Oh, like what? Like when you're messing up something, like what? So it's like, I'm trolling. I really don't know. That's so good. Castro, how you doing? Greetings from Chile. Nice. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. And for anyone who's just jumping on here, thanks for tuning in. So I'm just still kind of fine-tuning the sound here. I'm playing through as I mentioned, I'm playing through an SSL plugin. It's called the SSL 4KG, which actually is sounding pretty nice. I'm not mad. It's actually pretty nice. And this is the thing that you can totally overdo is when playing or using plugins or whatever, is that you put too much in, and I've totally been guilty of that. I will say though, and actually I'll set up another bus on here, because it'll be it'll be a send. I do like. There's this reverb that I do like, which is pretty nice. Let's get it here. So it's, what's it called? No, it's not there. It's just called. See, I don't know off the top of my head. Like when I scroll through it, then I'll see it. Oh yeah, it's just called Verb Suite Classics. Is it gonna open? Yeah, it is. Okay. One of my plugins was like just being like, nah, not gonna do anything for you today. So I gotta figure that out. And there's this one that I really like. It's just a preset. It's called Synth Support. And it adds like this nice kind of, so if you're listening with headphones or really nice speakers, I recommend doing that. Because it adds a nice kind of stereo spread. Or it was. You see, I was wondering, why am I not getting any sound? And this is something I always forget. If I've turned, so the pickups on this bass, they just have on and off switches for each one. And so sometimes I forget that I've turned them all off, and that will, so I have the volume up, and I'm like, wow, what's going on? I'm like, oh, one of the pickups are turned off. So if you're listening with headphones, this has a really nice kind of stereo spread to it, which I really enjoy. It's really nice for doing the for doing the it's really nice, kind of just gives a nice, so if I'm playing chords, you know, so I really enjoy that kind of stuff. You wouldn't necessarily use it for playing bass because it's just too much of a, you need to have a little more kind of focused, you know. But if you were to do, like, layer some bass tracks, you know, that would be actually pretty nice. So it's all good. So what's going on here? Diablo is saying just means he was playing as joking to play off the mistake as a right. I kind of figured that, but just the whole like, I'm trolling, you know, like I thought it was just hilarious. I'm like, okay, there's always new sayings and lingo and all that, and I'm just showing how, like, okay, wow, I'm that person that I always used to like make fun of when I was younger, you know, and now I'm that person now. Yeah, what goes around comes around. Indeed, how you doing, fellow bass and music friends? Nice, good to see you on here, Alfredo. Nice to see you as well. Yeah, and yes, you can get a shout out. Shout out to Alfredo. Cursed swordsman. That's right. How do you improvise over tunes with wonky chord progressions and don't boil down to simple 2-5-1s? Nardis is kicking my ass. All right, yeah. And it's like, do the 6-7. 2-5s are better than 6-7. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a great question, swordsman, and I'm happy to you know, to do that. So what I'm gonna do, oh yep, sorry, patch cable. So what I'm gonna do is in my looper, I'm going to first of all I'm gonna just mute the, there we go. I'm going to just play the bass line, or just the form for Nardis, and then I'll kind of talk about how I would approach something like that. But that's a great tune. I love Nardis. It's one of my favorite tunes. You know. And I'll also wrap this into, we got Posado, Posed official. See, this is always fun, you know, trying to read everyone's YouTube handles, right? Especially when it's all like squished together. So I'll also address that in this. I'm a musician as well, and I've been working on my own recordings. Any tips for getting bass to sound fuller in a mix? Yeah, absolutely, and I can demonstrate that soon after I've talked about Nardis. I can do that by playing over a tune. Yeah? How's that sound? So, for Nardis, so I'm going to play the bass line. Alright, so what's going on here? What's going on? So the way that you can look at it, so you can look at that first chord, essentially over the majority of the A sections as just playing like A minor 7 for the most part, and then that right there, I would then treat that as a like an A, like minor major 7, right? So in a sense, I'm using more of the if you were to approach it from like a modal standpoint of view, I'm using like Aeolian, right? So it's an A minor scale, but with the flat 6, right? Right? And then I would, for that, for that chord that goes to that E7, essentially E7 flat 9, I would look at that as an A harmonic minor, right? And I'll show you when we get back to that. So Aeolian. Now harmonic minor. And then for the B section, I would look at, again, you could just play, now you can make it like an A Dorian, right? At least for those first, the first 4 measures of it. So we're still in the A section. Well, actually, I mean, I would still do Aeolian, right? So you could still do Aeolian through the B section, right? So essentially, for the A sections, I'm just using A Aeolian and A harmonic minor, right? Just for that for the end of the A sections, right? And then for the B section, I'm just playing Aeolian for the whole thing. So if you want to look at it from that point of view. Now, in terms of like, okay, playing it musically, so that's a whole other thing that you got to look at. So what I'm doing there is I'm actually playing an F Lydian, right? Which also is in, A Aeolian, right? So essentially, F Lydian is going to have that flat, so that sharp 4 in there. And then if I wanted to, even for like the majority of the A section, if I wanted to just play A harmonic minor, I can do that, if I want to get into that kind of outside, add, tension kind of sound. We're in the B section now. So that's the cool thing about it. So those would be like the modes that you could use, but don't just play like the modes up and down like this, like start on different places of the modes, right? So I hope that's helpful. Those would be the ways to kind of look at it, is not always treating, looking at each individual chord in its entirety, but like how are there is there a scale, or certain modes, or even triads, or a chord that can actually connect a lot of these chords together. That way you can have a more broader sound, you know? So that's something that is always helpful. But you obviously, it's up to you how you put it into a creative way, and the way that you can learn and figure out, how do I use this musically? Well, that's where transcription comes in, because you're studying and understanding how great improvisers would use this. You're being shown how it's done. You know, don't think that, like, all right, I've studied all my scales and modes and everything, that like suddenly it's just going to happen. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. You need to know how to communicate the information, how to turn the information into music. And how you do that is by listening to the greats, understanding how they did it. And we do this all the time. We really do. So I'm glad that helped you, Cursed Swordsman. Yes, definitely shed that for sure. And it's a great tune. I love Nardis. Great tune. And from what I understand, so obviously Miles Davis is credited as, you know, as the composer of this tune, but a lot of people say it's actually Bill Evans that wrote it, and same with a tune like Blue and Green, because Miles wouldn't write a tune like that, right? That's the thing. But they used to do things like this back in the day, especially in the 50s. They would do kind of some shifty things like that, but you know. So what I'm gonna do is, Posed Official is asking, any tips to getting the bass sound to sound fuller in a mix? So I'm gonna address that, and that's a great question, because that's something that's so for your own recording. So I will just say this. The natural thing to do for anyone is to make things louder, all right? And especially when recording. Because, okay, yeah, you want to hear things, so let's just make it louder. Sometimes a lot of times that actually doesn't work. That works not in your favor. And especially for a bass, if you're going for a fuller bass sound. And the other thing that people will do, and I touched on this briefly, is, especially if you're using plugins, is to like add so much to where it just overcolors the bass sound, adding too much compression, too much EQ, too much of everything, you know? And then your bass, you know, especially if you don't know how to use it properly, and what happens is that your bass sound, you know, you might hear it there, but in terms of like actually being present and gelling and working together, blending in nicely with the other elements, it's not necessarily going to be the case. It still might be buried, right? The thing to do is, if there's other instruments, you know, in your mix that are pretty loud, you know, obviously you want to turn things down, right? You also don't want to be over clipping your main stereo, you know, your main stereo bus as well. So that's the thing right there. And also, something that I learned that I've found very effective when doing my own recordings is getting the levels of each instrument first before putting any plugins in. So, especially for me, sometimes I like to get the music going first, and then I'll bring in the bass. Now, if I get to a point where I've got the bass where it's at a good level, but it's still not being present, then I'll start bringing other things down. That's the thing. So maybe there's too much drums, or there's too much bass drum, or the toms, like things like that. I'll start doing that. And once it's somewhat comfortable, then I'll start bringing in a plugin, right? And usually it's going to be some sort of mild compression on a few things, right? You can even start with that on the stereo mix bus as well for the overall sound. Because this is the thing, just because you have all these plugins doesn't mean you need to like throw them all at your mix. Sometimes you might have to just use only just a minimal amount, right? Because if you've recorded things very nicely, you might not need to use a whole lot. Sometimes I've found when I've gotten my bass sound really nice in a recording, that I've only needed to use like a little bit of, compression, just to kind of have it glue in with the rest of the track and not add any more kind of stuff to it. Because if you have a nice sound coming in from the source, then you shouldn't have to put a lot of processing on it. That's the thing. So the whole thing of less is more. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to import a track here so that you can hear how I like to blend in my bass with the track. Let's see, which folder did I save the thing to? Okay, yeah, it's in here. And also, I'm going to be reading the chart as well to this, and I'm going to pull up the chart so that those of you who want to see the chart of what I'm reading, what I'm sight reading, you can see that. That's something that I've been doing lately, which I think is, people have been enjoying. That way you can follow along, or if you have your bass as well, if you wanted to play along, you can play along by reading the chart on the screen. So let's see here. Where is it? Okay, cool. And what I'm going to be doing, because I use Logic, and Logic has a really cool stem separation feature, so you can mute the bass, which is really handy. And I feel it's been pretty good. I also use Moises, which is a really great program as well. If you don't have Logic, or if you don't have a computer, if you do have Logic and you don't have the M chip in there, the silicon, Moises is a great alternative. That's as far as I go in terms of using some sort of like AI kind of thing. Because this is a great practice tool, where you can literally feel like you are in the recording session, where you have to blend in and mix your bass to the track. And this would actually be a really good thing to practice if you are doing, wanting to get better at recordings and all that, is take a recording, a really great recording, and if you're a bass player, mute the bass and play along, and it forces you on many levels to, yes, blend in your bass tone to work with the track, as well as playing along with the other musicians in the track as well. It forces you to keep up, and in terms of like the way the feel is and the rhythm, it forces you to really like just blend in, and it's a great practice tool. Before having any of this kind of thing to be able to do this, what did we do in the past? Well, on our stereos, we would, drop the bass EQ, but you could still hear the bass in the track, and also that would affect like the bass drum and all that. But now the fact that you can literally mute the bass and play your bass is really cool, and it's really handy. And I think it's such a great thing. If the other alternative is if you were to actually like to have the master reel of the track, which, you know, for anyone that is literally next to impossible to where like the session reel or the session files, then yes, you could actually do it that way. But I mean, majority of artists don't even own their own masters anyway. You know, but that's another conversation. All right, so I'm going to play a Cheryl Lynn tune, which is really cool, called Got to Be Real. I've played this many times on gigs. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just give myself a little bit of runway, and let's make sure the track works, you know? Da-da-da-da. And so that will be cool. So then I'm going to make sure I get a good bass tone to go with that. And where I like to start is pretty flat, right? That's always a good starting place for me, right? And that's the thing. I want to make sure that it's pretty balanced across the board, like in terms of the low end and the high end. And then as I play along with the track, then I'm going to adjust any EQ, tone, and also volume levels of the track as well. So in this case, say for example, if my bass is not loud enough playing with the track, then I'm going to bring the track down. I'm not going to turn up my bass because I don't want to overload stuff. And also, you know, things don't necessarily need to be super loud as well, especially if you're using headphones or whatever. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I got to do a few things here. I'm going to bring up the chart. So there it is. Got to be real. So that you can follow along. I'm going to change the view of it so that, all right, 2 pages. I'm going to bring this like this, and yeah, and then I'll be changing the pages like this. And what's really cool about this tune is that, so it has it has incredible musicians, and you can see, yeah, written by Cheryl Lynn, David Paich. If you don't know who David Paich is, great keyboard player, songwriter, musician from the band Toto, right? As well as he's written so many other and played on so many sessions. David Foster, obviously one of the greatest songwriters and producers, written so many hits, right? And then the bassist is David Shields, who I'm not too familiar with, to be honest. I really am not. But anyway, I'm going to play the tune here. And I've played this many times before, but I'm going to do my best to sight read the written bass line, which is this chart here. And if you want to get this chart, it's I got this from this website here, basement.info. They have some really cool transcriptions, really accurate as well. So definitely recommend that. All right, so
What to find?
a long edit. So the chart is most likely the radio edit, and the version I just played along to was the long edit. But hey, obviously that breakdown was just twice as long, so it would have been, you could probably put a repeat sign over here and over here. But also, because it's the same thing over and over again, when they would have done the session, it would have just been this chorus and outro would have just been on cue. And it also seems like this chorus and outro was twice as a little longer as well. And then this bit da 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 would have been on cue. So yeah, I mean, it's such a great tune, isn't it? In terms of, let me see what's going on in the chat. I'll play along to another tune as well. Untold Misery, what's nice to see you. So Posed Official, I hope, so what I was doing in terms of like getting it to my bass to blend in is that sometimes the best place to start is volume and gain levels, right? That's usually the best place to start. I would say if you're wanting your bass to be fuller in the track, then have your unaffected bass in there without any plugins or effects. Get that sitting where it needs to be with the track. Either the track needs to be a little higher if your bass is too loud, or it needs to be a little lower. Try to get that balance. And just know that when you do add in any plugins or anything, then that's going to also affect the gain. And just be careful not to overdo too much low end as well. That's where things can start to get muddy. I like to blend the low end, when I am mixing stuff. And look, I'm not a professional like mixer or anything. If that's something that's, yes, I would have someone who is like way more experienced than me to do. But in terms of doing my own stuff for like, say, like social media or any of my own videos and stuff, of course I'm doing that all myself. Just in terms of my knowledge of how I would do that is, you don't want to muddy things up. I like to have the bass so that it does have a nice cohesive kind of blend, but still a nice kind of standout, when it's blended in with other low-end elements like bass drums and toms or other like synth kind of things, right? And how you tune the EQ for a bass is definitely dependent on, what the tune is, right? That's the kind of thing. there might be a tune where I might use a little more low end, right? Maybe if I'm playing some sort of ballad or uh, something that is more like on the neo soul kind of edge, kind of vibe, then I'll put in a little more bottom end, to kind of have it be a little more heavy like that. Um, and hey, Cursed Wordsman, thank you so much. Thank you. That's really kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Ted, everyone, this has been really great. Just hanging here with you all, and I always love doing this. So I'm gonna do some more playing. I'm just gonna let's see what's going on in the chat. And just actually real quick, if you haven't, please, if you're new here, please like and subscribe to my channel. It's really cool. I just passed 3,100 subscribers on here, which is really cool. Just keep building it up. As well as down in the description box, the links to all my Bass with Benjamin resources. So all my different courses. So I have courses that address playing bass chords, because that's been very popular lately. And over the years, I've had so many questions about that. So I've got 2 courses that deal with bass chordal playing. You don't have to have a 6-string bass in order to do this. This can be if you're a 4-stringer as well. But you want to employ using using the chordal functionality on the bass, right? And there's others. I've got a groove course. I've got a basic music theory course that just goes through the basics. There's also a beginner course too. Like if you are just totally new at bass guitar, like you're picking it up for the first time, you don't even know how to hold the instrument, there's a whole course that will help you out with that. Whatever I can do to help you with your bass journey, this is what Bass with Benjamin is about. So make sure you check out the links down below. If you want to take a one-off lesson with me, you can do so. Or even join my bass coaching and mentoring program. It's one-on-one. We work together every week. It's so much fun. It really is. You get constant feedback. You get the occasional pep talk if you need it. But it's open for anyone, any level of bass playing. So make sure you check it out down below. Cursed Swordsman is asking, do you have any transcription software you like? I like Musical, but I'd pay for something if it was worth it. Right now I'm using Musical. That's what I'm using. For years I used Sibelius. And only in the last year or so I changed over to MuseScore because Sibelius wasn't working properly. And for what I needed to use things for, I felt that MuseScore was doing what I needed. So and it's free as well. I use the free version, so I definitely recommend that. Obviously, yeah, if you want to pay for something, I mean, there's other ones out there. But for years, I was definitely a Sibelius cat. I used Sibelius for everything, and it was great. And so, but yeah, I'm on MuseScore now, so which I think is really great. I've programmed my own shortcuts as well that I used to use on Sibelius, so that's really cool. You can map out the keys to do that. So if you're using a different program, you had your keyboard shortcuts. You can do it on this, which is really cool. So yeah. But yeah, and I'll just say that I haven't bought a notation software. I've always used like a free version of it or someone hooking me up, So it's all good. Untold Misery. Oh, super bum. I need some funk and soul. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. No worries. That's what I was thinking of doing more of. Posed, glad I could help you on that. Good luck with your mixes. Hope that works out for you. And just have fun. Get the music sounding good, right? And yeah, sometimes less is more. You don't need to add a whole lot. Get a good sound, from the source, from your bass. And sometimes that's all you need, right? A lot of great recordings are literally the bass just going through the console and just a little minimal bump in something or a touch of something. That's all that was needed, which is really cool. Livingston, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in. And let's see what I'm gonna play next. Stiffly Funk and Soul is what Untold Misery is asking for. So let me see what I got in my bag of tricks. That I think I think you would like. I always like to play definitely some like funk, R&B, and then get into some like crazy fusion as well. So that might also happen too. There's always a bit of that. And usually, and I might do a little crazy fusion at some point where I'm looking at the chart, and that way you cats can read along with me and see what I've had to put up with on some of these gigs. So it's all good. Let's have a look. Let's get something for Untold Misery. Let's see. And I'm gonna look at where is I had the folder. All right. At least I did have the folder open. So, and folks, I appreciate you hanging out. And hoping wherever you are, you're all doing good. Nope, that's not the folder. I've got all kinds of places and folders on here to choose from, which is always exciting. But sometimes it'd be like, what am I doing? Which is sometimes like that. Maybe I might play along with this tune. Incognito. Let's do Incognito's Colibri. I'm not sure how you say it properly. Colibri, maybe that's how it would. And I've got a chart here as well for you all to see. What I gotta do is I have to just put it into the stem splitter in Logic here. So now I gotta get the track. But at least it'll be a fun tune to play with because it is such a great tune. All right, so which folder am I in? Yes. Oh wait, no, not that one, because I actually have it. Yes, you get to see me trying to figure out what am I doing right here. No, it's in this one. I'm like, where is it? It's here. Okay, so Incognito, which is such a really cool band. I'm pretty sure on this version, which is the original version, this is the great bassist Randy Hope Taylor, who's absolutely phenomenal. One of the greats. Incognito have always had some incredible bassists. All right, so do that, and then now I get to stem split it. All right, apply that. It's working its magic. And so again, this is a different track where I gotta have to blend myself in. And from the top of my head with this track, it doesn't have a whole lot of low end going on because they definitely go for that more tighter kind of a more tighter low end kind of sound. So I want to make sure I get my bass in there. So I might sometimes on the bass itself, I might reduce a little bit of the low end, right? And as I play along, I'll definitely do some adjusting. And that's the thing, you want to get good at being able to self-mix when doing this. Now, if you're in a recording studio, and doing a recording session, and you've got, obviously your cue mixes and all that, where you obviously can blend and mix your headphones, then, that's going to be, different right there. You definitely want to get the sound that you're going for right away. There's this whole thing of like, oh, well, you can always do that in post-production. No. Do it. Get your sound first, because that's what you want to record, right? Get the sound that you're trying to, get with the band. That's what you're trying to record, and then anything can be done in post-production to do things. But you want to make sure that you always have it sussed out first. All right, so I'm going to reduce the bass, or take out the bass on the track. Okay, and now let's bring up the chart for you all to see. Hey, how you doing, Leo Yomba? Hello. When you transcribe some bass lines and licks, do you recommend learning the lick on the bass first or writing it? Yeah, I recommend getting it on the instrument first, right? So when I'm transcribing something, I definitely have the instrument with me, obviously, and I'm figuring it out as I go along, because I want to internalize it, I want to understand it, and then I'll write it down. And sometimes I'll literally write it down, or I'll just put it straight into a notation software, right? And this goes for anything, for transcribing solos, phrases, or if I'm actually transcribing and making a lead sheet, a chart, so that I can play the tune in a band, right? I'll always have the instrument. So it's a great way of learning tunes, memorizing it, because there's a lot of repetition involved when you are transcribing. That's the really cool thing about it. And just understand, when you transcribe, repetition is key, and it doesn't matter how many times you do it. Don't think about like, oh man, I've done this so many times and I still don't have it. No, that's okay. There's some things, and I have perfect pitch, and sometimes there's things that I'm learning and I have to hear them over and over again, right? And if you're still not getting it, just take a break. Give your ears a break. Give your mind a break. Go do something else, and then come back later on and try again. That's always the best thing to do. But yeah, transcribing requires patience, and also not to be distracted as well. But always have your instrument with you. That's always a good thing. All right, so let me bring up this. And I'm going to do what I did before on this and just give myself some runway. So I can play the track, and we'll bring up the chart as well. So you can all see the chart there, right? What I'm going to do, so you don't need to see I'll just hide the sidebar. Don't really need that in there. All right, and we're gonna play along. Wrong place, and that was too loud. Oh man. Oh man, that bridge was kind of hard actually. What was it? It's like, yeah. Then what do we got? Oh right. Yeah, so he's up there. Da 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 da. Was it? Yeah. You know, if you want to, this is really good. And again, you can get this this chart here at the basement.info. If you want to really focus on reading syncopated 16th notes, this is definitely a really good chart right here to do that with. But it's such a great tune, really is. Who we got here? We got people joining in on the chat. Michael Anthony, how you doing? Nice to see you, man. Good to see you on here. Charlie Dixon, what's up? It's so funny that I'm actually writing my chart for my rep assessment, and the song that you're playing happens, Colibri happens to be one of the songs I'm doing. Nice. That's cool. What a coincidence, right? Or it was just meant to be. Posed is asking, I've been thinking of taking the frets off my U bass. If you don't know what a U bass is, that's one of those ukulele basses. Kala, I think, makes them. There might be some other ones too, but the ones I know of that are really good, Kala U bass. I don't know if it's a good idea, as it might be too hard to play. Well, you have to look at, okay, who's going to take the frets off? Are you taking the frets off, or are you going to have someone do that for you? And also, why do you want to take the frets off other than to make it a fretless instrument, right? Do you like the bass as it is? Is it working for you? Because I know you can get a fretless U bass. They do have them. But if you like your bass, your U bass, the way it is, and if it's good, and you're just having this kind of idea, then I'd say don't, because it's not as simple as then, okay, just, taking the frets off and then putting it back on. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And if you are making something fretless, you also need to make sure that the fretboard is that has done, that's been done correctly as well. I don't know what your experience is with that. Maybe, I don't know if you are new to all this or you are experienced in doing that. But my gut instinct, I'm just telling you, is no. You'd be better off getting a U bass that is fretless. That would be how I'd go about that. That's a fun tune to play, that one. I'm gonna play something more wilder, something that we have to read. Are you guys enjoying looking at the charts? Is that does that kind of make things a little interesting? That way you can see what I'm trying to play. And that way we can, let me see if I have the chart for this tune. I think I do. If so, then yay. Let's see if I do have it. That way you cats can obviously see what it is. So that one. Trying to say, Let's see. That's the track. Oh yeah, do I have the chart? Oh yeah. Yay, I can do this. Alright. Of course, I love playing void tunes, which I'm going to do. So we'll save this. That way you guys can look at the chart, because looking at the chart is fun. I think so. I love reading charts. I definitely love them because it's very important to what you do. But here's something that's going to be a little more complex, and you'll get to see the process of it, of how it actually works. And that's one of the reasons why I love doing this here, being able to show you the charts. That way you can see what's happening. All right, where am I? But also, I have to, most importantly, oops, nope, no, not now. I gotta import the track in. And folks, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also check out the links down below in the description box to my Bass with Benjamin resources. There's a lot of stuff there. So make sure you check that out. All right, Ben Music. Don't remember all the folders that I have to go to get it, but it's all here, which is good. All right. So yes, I'm gonna play a void tune. This tune is called J-Lag. I guess short for jet lag. I've played this on the live stream before. It's one of my favorite tunes. Incredible tune. And I just absolutely love the band Void. Such a phenomenal band. I mean, this happened like 20 years ago. A band from Perth, Australia. And, of course, features the great bass playing of Dane Alderson, because he is from Perth, Australia. And this was the band that he was playing in when he was, like a teenager in his early 20s. So it's just splitting. Where am I here? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pose it. Definitely. Yeah, keep the frets on. That way, you don't ruin a bass that you really, or an instrument that you really like. That's always a good thing to always keep in mind. So, and this goes for anyone. If you have a prized instrument and you're thinking of doing something, well, what if I did this or whatever? Just think about, like, okay, why do I want to do that? Is this just like an impulse kind of modification I want to do, or is this an important need this instrument that needs to have? Is the instrument fine? Is it working? Is it letting me play the way I need to play? Because remember, sometimes these little modifications can lead to irreversible damage, and you don't want that. All right. So I'm gonna play J-Lag here. Really fun tune by Void, and I'm gonna bring up the chart as well. Oh, and my bass is hot compared to the mic. Yeah. Well, yeah. I can bring up my mic level and so that it's not quiet like this, right? All right, you all can see the chart there, and you can see me. Oh, no, what am I doing? I'm not doing things. Okay. I'm like, what am I doing? What did I do? I don't know what I did. I was trying to just move myself. I can make myself a little bigger here. That way you can see what I'm playing and compared to the chart. I mean, does that look kind of decent? I don't know. Should I just lift it? I don't know. I want to get it, so I need to learn how to actually get the little screen on the side, maybe to do it like almost green screen so that I kind of blend in here, but I don't know. We'll have to figure out how to do that. Anyway, let's play some music. J-Lag. what a tune, man. What a tune. What a tune. Woo. Anyway, folks, I think that's it for today for me, because I need to go get some food because I'm really hungry and I want some food now. What am I going to eat? I will have to go look what's in my fridge and pantry, refrigerator, and maybe in the freezer. Hey. See, I get all crazy when I'm hungry, right? Who knows what that was? I have no idea. But, you know. But that's just how it is. Well, folks, I really appreciate it. You know, this is always just such a wonderful time, you know. And like what? You know, it's almost like a Frank Zappa tune, right? I'm hungry and I want to get some food and now I want to eat it now. Will I get a sandwich? And I want to Oh man, this is good. This was cool. And thank you, Pazed. I appreciate it. Nice to see you on here. And people, if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Check out the stuff down in my, in my description box. All the base resources. Yeah, I can't even speak now. I'm all like caffeinated and like hungry. Man, send this guy to the MXR talk box. You know, I used to have an Electro Harmonics vocoder. I used to have that, and actually, if you have a look on my YouTube channel, I do have a video that, you know, from like, oh gosh, it's probably like 16 years old now, playing a version of Butterfly where I'm using the vocoder. So, you know, check it out. It's an old video, one of the older videos here on my channel. But it was a lot of fun, so definitely check it out. And with my old BTB bass as well, my old one. But anyway, folks, thank you so much. Really great to see you all. And I appreciate you hanging out. And wherever you are in the world, please take care. You know, please take care. Be safe out there. Have fun playing music. Have a great rest. Yeah, if you need to have a rest, have a great rest as well. You know? But also have a great rest of your week and the weekend coming up as well. I'm going to do like 2 choruses on Nardis. See, I'm now hungry. I can't even play anything now. Anyway, folks, thank you again. You all take care, and I'll see you again soon. All right? Peace.